Yes? Because the teachers have everything ready there and they just teach the textbooks. Okay, they may be lazy and they do nothing innovation and so on. If you are a little lazy, you say, okay, I just teach it and I need to prepare any other activities and so on. Okay? What else about the textbook that you find not interesting at all? What else about... Okay, now when you teach the textbook, you just, when you use the textbook, you just teach what the textbook assigns you to do, not what the students really want to study. Is that right? You can teach what the students really want to study. Okay, you are teaching what? You are teaching tourism. Okay, you are teaching tourism. But the students then want to read about computers. But the textbook, in that lesson, the textbook asks you to teach about the language of computers. Okay, or how the computers improve people's lives and so on. Okay? Maybe student tourism would not like to study computers. Or they are not very close to their needs. They need the language to teach to talk about history. They need to read about geography and so on. They need computers. Is that right? Yes. I remember, yes, I like Oxford textbook. I forgot the term, but right at the elementary level, they have the lesson about the languages, about 1 page long. The reading 1 page long, okay, about language development. I like it very much, but because I work with language, I like it. But my students are learning teaching and learning to speak English. What helps them about language development? How English becomes the world language around the world. Yes, in just 50 years, for example. That is not what the students really interested in. Is that right? But because the reading is there, you have to teach it. Otherwise, you have to find out something to fill in the blank. But if the examination has that lessons in place, you have a problem with your students. You understand what I mean? Tôi không biết các bạn bây giờ textbook này không có Oxford. Nó khác một xíu, nhưng mà tôi quên rồi. Ở cái trình độ elementary level thôi. Nghĩa là ở cái bài gần cuối nó có một bài nguyên một trang luôn về tiếng Anh như là ngôn ngữ của thế giới. Đúng không? Mình đọc mình rất thích, nên tại sao nó biết về vấn đề phức tạp mà với một cái ngôn ngữ đơn giản thế này. Nhưng mà thật ra học trò không có thích. Họ không có một cái khái niệm gì về cái tiếng Anh nó phát triển như thế nào, cái vấn đề xã hội chính trị nó ảnh hưởng tới cái việc truyền ngôn ngữ nó trở thành một cái ngôn ngữ thế giới như thế nào. Ví dụ tôi nói, người ta nói như thế này, tiếng Anh nó trở thành một cái ngôn ngữ thống trị tại vì cái sự hùng mạnh của nước Mỹ. Đó mà nó nói về cái lúc đó cái nước Pháp nó sụp xuống như thế nào thì nước Pháp cái thời các bạn thấy năm 45 chúng ta vẫn còn là thuộc địa của Pháp mà. Thì trong cái năm 45 nước Pháp thì nó qua cái chiến thứ hai nó bị bùng lên về kinh tế, về chính trị vân vân. Thì những cái đó chúng ta đọc rất hay, nhưng mà học trò không có, nó không hiểu. Mặc dù cái đối tượng đó không phải là children, mà là adult learners. Okay, for adult learners, they may understand something, but it is of no use for them. They would not stay there to read the whole page of reading just to entertain, whereas they fail to speak, to conduct a short conversation about their work. Okay, so what is the point? So teaching the textbook is teaching the material, okay, and it may be in conflict with what your students are really interested in. Okay? Anything else about textbook? Okay, you will find it in your textbook later. Now let's return to teaching language material. When you say teaching language material, we talk about teaching, okay? Teaching pronunciation, teaching vocabulary, teaching grammar. Anything else? Now the material here. Now I'd like you to remember the material here may be the textbook. What else? It may be the textbook. It may be other material, like authentic material that you bring in the class. Is that right? But when I say teaching language material, it means teaching the language areas. Yes, Dr. Tùng would say teaching language areas, which includes vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Okay? Yes. Other material like, okay, textbook. You may have other material like textbook. What else? Authentic material. What are the authentic material? The material are the documents that exist in real life and you bring it into the class without any tailoring. Without any tailoring to make it fit the student's level. Okay? Now remember that most of the cassette recorder, most of the recording for language classes are not authentic. When it comes to authentic, that is people in real setting talking together in a natural manner, not in the lab. It is much more confusing for students. You understand what I mean? Ngay cả những cái băng câu họ nói rất nhanh mà nhưng mà khi mình nói trong veo và nó nghe một cái thứ tự tuần tự thì nó không phải là authentic đâu, họ thôi trong lab hết. Ok? Và với cái authentic material mà cho listening á, thì các bạn sẽ nghe cái tiếng máy lạnh ù, cái tiếng gõ, cái tiếng rết này cái kia, rồi người ta nuốt chữ rồi này kia, cái sự đó này. Ok? Rồi, thành ra các bạn, nó có một cái loại authentic material that you can use for listening test. That is television. Nhưng mà television cái kiểu mà trên Animal Planet đó, nó cũng không phải là authentic. Animal Planet, okay, they would do it in the lab. Okay, except that why they are in the wild. Okay, otherwise they're done in the lab too. Okay. Tôi có làm mấy cái văn cho các lớp mấy cái thu văn cho cái sách giáo khoa lớp 6, 7, 8, 9 của cái bộ mới thì mà phải nói. Thì hồi đó tôi hợp tác với bên chỗ cái nhà gì xuất bản văn hóa gì đó, cái của bộ đó. Thì tôi mời giáo viên tới đọc, đọc tới đọc luôn thì đó và khi mà họ đọc cái câu đó không được nhưng mà họ đọc sai mà không còn hỏi đó thì chúng tôi ngồi cắt xé để nối một cái từ vô đó thôi cũng được. Đó là chỉ có một từ rồi đó thôi. Có một lần cái cô đó cô ca cái bài Merry Christmas gì á, và cô ca gì đó qua đi từ mai cô ca thì lạc rồi phải nhờ tới một cái cô bé cháu của người bạn ở bên Mỹ mới về nó tới nó ca dùm. Thế là trong một cái bài nguyên một cái bài thì người này nói thì kia nói không cô nói nhưng mà tôi hát thì cô hát. Ok, thì cái đó họ đều làm ở trong phòng lab, thế nó không phải làm thế. Các bạn có thể nghe những cái băng về business họ chào nhau, họ nói với nhau, họ nghe rất thú vị nhưng mà đều là lab hết. very few recordings are authentic. Because it is difficult to get something authentic like that in business setting. Okay? Yes. But authentic material may be something what Miss King used when she designed her reading lessons before the Tet holiday. Okay? This is authentic material. The authentic material may be the, what else? Maybe the traffic signs. Very simple. The traffic signs, you can just bring in the documents by the police station, okay, to come in class and to show the students and to teach us, and so on. Like the material, maybe what else? Maybe textbook, maybe authentic material, or maybe the, yes, handouts, newspaper. Newspaper is also something authentic. Okay? Newspaper. The handouts by teachers, right, from any source that she may have, okay, resource to. She may have access to. Right? So this is to teach the material. Right? But when we said teaching material in our syllabus, I mean teaching language areas. Okay? Like vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Now please, think about what do you need when you teach, what do you teach in terms of vocabulary, in terms of grammar and pronunciation. Anything else about language areas? No? I think that's enough, okay? Now please, what do you do when you teach? What do you need to teach when it comes to vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation? What is the most difficult for you? What? Vocabulary, very quickly. You are only experienced teacher. Now vocabulary. Now the first question is what? Okay? And next, how? When? Okay? When and what? Now, if you do not use a textbook, okay? If you do not use a textbook, what vocabulary would you choose to teach? When and where? How is easy? You know how already, but you rarely design your own material. So the question with when and where and what are important to you. What? What to teach? Keywords. Where are the keywords? Now what to choose? What vocabulary would you choose to teach? Yes. It should be topicalized. Is that right? Yes, it should be topicalized. The vocabulary should be topical. Yes? You should start not with only the vocabulary, but the topic that you choose. Is that right? Yes? And how? And what do you teach when you teach vocabulary? what you mean by form? Is it necessary to say they are noun or verb and so on? Yes. Is it okay? What's that? Topics, what else? And you teach form. What else? Grammar, the grammar vocabulary. What do you mean by the grammar vocabulary? That's all that is the form.
Spelling,
Spelling.
pronunciation, use,
Meaning.
meaning and use,
Meaning.
and use.
And use. Anything else?
Collocation,
Collocation. Yes? Family work, sir? Yes? Anything else? Okay. So, when and where to teach them?
at the beginning of the lesson,
At the beginning? What do you mean by at the beginning? Okay.
Usually before the reading task or listening task.
Before the reading or listening task, okay?
Speaking.
Any task. Anything else? And how to teach them?
Show the teachers.
Show picture.
Use pictures,
Example.
example,
Body language.
Situation.
body language, and so on.
Object.
Huh? Yes? I need something else. How to teach it?
Games.
Games,
Song.
okay, song, and
story,
Story.
yes, story too.
yes,
Telling story.
Telling a story just to teach vocabulary, and you use something more difficult to teach the easier one. I would say it depends. It depends on, there are many ways to teach vocabulary, but it depends on the levels. Is that okay? Now, for example, for this level, if I want to teach more vocabulary, what do I do? What should I do? Okay, this is quite challenging, right? For new vocabulary, I just explain it to you. You can just hack your knowledge. Because you're teachers. There's a language users already. Okay? I can ask you to use a dictionary, or I can even to give you some morphological clue. Okay, some morphology lesson in here. Okay, this is the base, and what do you think it is? Okay, my explanation is just enough. You have many examples of how to teach vocabulary already. But do you think it is important? I return to what to teach. To teach the form and so on. But do you always need all these things to students? Do you have a separate vocabulary lessons to teach all these forms, spelling, pronunciation, and so on? Yes or no? No, so what?
Listen to
The word expression.
Pardon?
I put the word expression. And from that
Yes, you
expression-
you teach the expression. Expression is kind of vocabulary. But would you teach them only the thing about what it is, whether that is a verb or form or fixed expression? You teach them the spelling. You teach them the usage, collocation, and so on. What should be the priorities?
meaning.
Meaning. Okay? Yes? What else? When you put them in the collocation, put them in expression, that is kind of collocation. Or grammar. Is it right? That may be used. But again, this depends on the level. Depends on the level. Is it right?
Yeah.
Yes. And what kind of task that is? You do not teach them all at the same time. Because you don't have the vocabulary lessons. While, okay, grammar can become a lesson. Vocabulary can hardly be taught as a separate lesson. Is that right? Yes. You should choose if they are small children. Okay? Pronunciation. What else? Are important? Pronunciation, meaning, okay, are important, but not form. Expression is very important. Okay, how we use them. If there is exact expression for that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Depends on the level. Right. I'm not sure. Now for grade 11 and 12 level, what should go with vocabulary? Form. What else? Pronunciation?
No.
Pronunciation? Yes or no? Yes. Again, this is depends. Okay? Yes, you can tell the students the meaning. You can tell them teach them how to pronounce them. But it is not so much important for them to make it. To acquire it immediately. And that lesson like at the lower level. For example. I just take some quick example. Would you try to? Do you think that I would spend much time to ask you to pronounce these words precisely? Yes or no?
No.
Why not? Theo các bạn là ở những cái student mà ở cái advanced level thì các bạn ở đây tôi phải thường bỏ nhiều thời gian để tôi tập cái phát âm cái từ này cho đúng không? Cho chính xác không? Ví dụ các bạn đọc cái này là gì? Photographer. Cái gì như cái là photographer. Hoặc là các bạn cứ đọc cái từ này hồi nãy là content. Thì tôi chỉ nhắc là content tôi chỉ ngồi để mà tập cái đọc là cái từ này cho chính xác thì có mà chết. Tôi nói lúc 11, 12 có mà chết luôn. Tại vì chúng ta không có thời gian để tập đọc những cái từ phức tạp như thế trong một bài. Thành ra ở cái level đó đã sai là sai, khó sửa không sửa là mất nhiều thời gian lắm. Thành ra chúng ta chọn sửa cái gì và chúng ta sửa như thế nào. Có những cái lớp học và giáo viên ra hiểu là khi tôi nói thế này có nghĩa là mẹ con có làm sai. Thì khi mọi người chỉ cần nói thì giáo viên làm thế này là post thì nó sẽ dừng lại và tự điều chỉnh. Ok, vân vân. Thì như vậy tôi nói tôi dạy cái gì thì nó cũng depends. Mặc dù đó là những cái areas that you need to pay attention to. What, how do you read it? Presentation. Cái như là cái presentation. Presentation hay là thế này? Laboratory. Nhưng mà đọc cái chữ luôn laboratory. Nếu mà các bạn đang dạy cuốn sách Anh mà không cho nó đọc laboratory thì tôi vô nghe thì thế is okay? Rồi, như vậy thì chúng ta dạy lớp 11, 12 mà cứ tập đọc cho sinh viên, cho học sinh đọc một cách chính xác thì chúng ta không có thời gian mà chúng ta sẽ nghỉ hết. Is okay? Và một khi tới một cái level nào đó, là về khi yes. In teaching vocabulary, you need to pay attention to what? Active and passive vocabulary. This is important. Okay? You teach both active and passive vocabulary. But what do you do with active? What do you do with active?
Explain a lot about active words.
No, not explain a lot. Explanation would be the same for all.
Carefully, teach carefully.
Yes, more of usage, more of pronunciation, okay, more of collocation, maybe, more of grammar or form and so on. Okay, but if that is passive,
Just meaning.
meaning may be form too. It is very important for students to realize, to recognize the form of a word in a sentence and so on. But not so much pronunciation. The form is important. Maybe the meaning is very important too. And so on. Not everything at the same time. We don't have time for such. Is it okay? Yes? Now how? You told me. Pictures, yes. Example, yes. Example of what? Yes. I think it is better to make it clear sentence. Or context of using. Okay, context of using. What else? Body language. Not use of your body to teach, but body language. Anything else?
Real object.
Facial expression. Facial expression, maybe that is body language.
Real objects.
Huh?
Real objects.
Real objects.
Yeah.
Real objects, maybe. Or you may give matching exercises. Matching. Okay, the purpose of different activities like that is to make class more vivid, to make students remember the vocabulary easily, and to, especially remind them of the situation of using them, remind them of their own knowledge. Okay? Giving what? Synonyms, antonyms, and so on. Okay? Sometimes you do not need much explanation. Use the synonyms of antonyms and give them the structure to use it. I'm full today, so I'm not blah blah blah. And they will learn the word full by learning not hungry. By knowing not hungry, they learn the word full. Is it right? Yes. It is not always that you have to explain everything. Use the activities to explain it to you. Use the pictures, to impress into the student's mind the meaning.